Sign up to The Economist for in-depth curated expert analysis of world events and topics ranging from business and culture to science and technology. You'll get the weekly digital edition, online-only articles, curated newsletters on politics, the markets, science, culture, and China, and full access to The Economist Podcast Plus. The Economist is independent journalism for independent thinking. Go to economist.com and get your first month free.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Your discretion is advised.
Savaged Unfiltered. Your host, Michael Gardner.
What's going on? Guys, before I start the show here, first and foremost, I got to get this off my chest. Like I said, guys, it's been a wild week, with podcasting, as we've seen, the late passing of Queen Elizabeth II the other day, which is getting a tremendous amount of reaction, both on the left and the right. The left expressing, extremism and their remarks to it. On the right, mixed reactions on the right. Let's just leave it like that, mixed reactions. But guys, before I get this, get to this show today, which I'm labeling extremism in America, dangerous rhetoric, because it is. It's becoming very, very dangerous, the wording in this country. But I got to get this off my chest, guys. Just yesterday, there was a show by a certain extremist leftist podcaster, which I won't go into names and everything, for publicity purposes. But this certain podcaster has been attacking my show for quite some time. And a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean, Michael? Well, he's been getting into this dialogue with certain panelists on my show. Basically using the panelists as leverage to not only attack my show, but to make a monarchy, or excuse me, let me rephrase the words, a mockery. There we go. To attack conservative values. And I got to give credit to where it's due. This guy, not only is he an extremist, but I mean, that's kind of smart, to use, another panelist from another show to basically use him as a guinea pig, to create leverage, to create the dirt sheet of Savaged Unfiltered here, to get a little bit of insights. Folks, I'm going to say one thing here. I respect even my panelists or guests or anybody I bring on this show. If they want to go to another show, whether it's a far left, a right, a conservative, whatever type of podcast, talk show, by all means, go ahead. You don't have an open contract on this show. You're allowed to express your views anywhere you desire, just like any other podcast or talk show. But to literally show disrespect on another show is on a different ballgame. I'm going to say to this, guys, I'm going to get a little unfiltered. I think it is a total disrespect by this certain podcaster, this leftist, this scumbag, to go to this avenue. That's all I have to say about this. But before I get into the show, guys, check out some of this crap that I'm talking about. I don't like plugging in other shows, but I'm going to plug it in because I want you to understand that I'm not making this stuff up, folks. This is exactly the extremism that we're seeing in this country. This is why we are the way we are. Check this clip out.
Love for bandwagon mentality, guys. This is another reason why I went off as well, is because there. I don't want to throw any snowballs or anything like that, but there's somebody who's always constantly referring to me as your part. He's always talking about the Democratic Party as your party. He can't get it through his head that I don't have a party. That I don't have a party because these two parties don't represent me. They don't represent you. They represent the 1% that own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. That's what I'm trying to talk about. But people with bandwagon mentality and bootlicking natures automatically think that I have a party because they can't comprehend or grasp that I don't belong to a party. I've rejected that fucking that indoctrination because they've rejected me, and I feel like that's just it's just another representation of people mourning the Queen. Someone, Saucelin Stevenson, Jimmy the Rants from Bootlickers Unfiltered, and Jamar Jabari, the Voice of Change podcast.
That's not true. Savaged Unfiltered.
Tuesday. All right, whatever you because
now the clip I played, I want to express the anger and the frustration because I'm seeing it on other shows. There are other extremists on other shows that are reflecting to this crap. I've seen other shows get attacked. The Great Bongino, the Great Dr. Savage, Tucker Carlson constantly getting attacked. Why? Are they jealous? But before we get into that, I want to bring in a regular panelist here to the show. He's the author of Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You, Mr. Joseph M. Leonard. Welcome back to the show, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Michael. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I checked out that other show. Again, not well, I said he, so you know it's a he, but he's not worth mentioning his name. And I love
Savaged Unfiltered.
fell off my couch laughing at him because he claims to be a free thinker, quote unquote, and then spends all his shows vomiting DNC talking points and spin. It's like watching The View.
Yeah, it's exactly like watching The View, But here's my thing, Joseph. Exactly, you nailed it on the spot. Like watching The View. What is it, like a View 2.0? But to get to that avenue, this. I'll try to be respectful on the show because I'm not gonna stoop to the leftist ways because they're deranged. They're a bunch of psychotic nut jobs. But to stoop to that level, Joseph, I think it's desperate. I really do. I think it's desperate when they use people like that to create a leverage.
Well, it is. It's it's desperation, and it's trying to piggyback off of the success of others, to try to garner an audience for themselves. And, there's good-natured bantering at places like Greg Gutfeld has ongoing running jokes about Brian Stelter. Well, Brian Stelter was on Greg Gutfeld's Red Eye show when it was on. So, I mean, they know each other, and there's a degree of teasing going on and fun and just humor. It's not malicious attacking. It's meant to, bring a little lightheartedness as opposed to viciousness and like, trying to co-opt somebody else's audience like it's going on here.
I hear you. But before we continue the show, I want to welcome everybody joining the show here, the co-host of the show, Saucelin Stevenson. How's it going, Sauce?
It's going pretty good. I just got my interview with Amy Sinha uploaded on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so it's a very good interview. Michael, I'm going to invite you personally. I know we talked behind off the air. The next episode we do, which will probably be in October, I'm going to personally invite you to join Amy Sinha as we do another special episode with Amy Sinha. I'm going to personally invite you on your show.
Well, I
Do you accept
appreciate the
offer?
invite, Jocelyn. Thank you very much.
No problem. I want to touch base on this. I know that with the extremists, there's one particular podcaster that I was very, very off put last night.
Yeah, we're not gonna label names on the show, Sauce, for publicity issues.
No,
but yeah,
I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention his name, but I was very off put by it because I don't know. It's the podcasting and the so far extreme has gotten so far like to a point where they're threatening. Like for instance, you look at The View and you look at CNN commentators, they're straight out extremists. Like Leonard, you mentioned Greg Gutfeld. Greg Gutfeld does a fantastic job because he does it in commentary. He makes you laugh, and he doesn't threaten like what's it, the Twinkle Boy or Twinkie Boy, Stelter. He doesn't threaten his life, and he doesn't threaten his family, unlike the other commentators on CNN, MSNBC do. They go too far, and they have the audacity to say and to praise the Biden administration for calling out the MAGA Republicans and just the Republicans as now terrorists that are within this country as domestic terrorists. They have the audacity to go along with the bandwagon and can't look through all the BS and say, man, why is it so weird that they're being compared? This explains why we're divided, and they're purposely trying to invoke a civil war amongst each other. Am I right, Leonard?
Yeah, and this is after the whole summer of love, as the Washington governor, or was it the Portland mayor, tried to call when they Antifa and black lying Marxists literally took over the streets, rioted, looted, burned down black communities, killed people. People died. The only person that died in January 6th was Ashley Babbitt, assassinated by a Capitol Hill policeman. And the left loves to talk about cops assassinating unarmed people. Well, you had it there, and they don't say a thing, and they lie about January 6th and try to say 8 people died that day. Well, they get to that figure by taking gang-related violence that happened in the suburbs of D.C. that day and call that January 6th violence. They lie. That's all they ever do is lie and spin. And Mike, I wanted to say one last thing about that other show is, as the saying goes, if you're getting flack, it's because you're successfully hitting the target. And I want to refer people to an article I wrote a while back at tinyurl.com/gettingflack. tinyurl.com/gettingflack. It's the same thing with me. I get death threats, and you're right, Sauce. The death threats and all that stuff comes from the left. Literally riot and burn down neighborhoods.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Joseph, and thank you for the sentiment on the show. I appreciate that. I must be doing something right because, I got these deranged, desperate other shows that are using my show as leverage, not only to try to bury my content, but, they're using some of my panelists on their shows to try to get, like what I said in the beginning of the show, Joseph, the dirt sheets about Savaged Unfiltered. Guys, let me say one thing. I deliver the facts on here, whether you want to like it or not. But I don't go and I don't make these desperate little moves to try to say, oh, well, bootlicker and this and that, the bootlicker unfiltered. First of all, bootlicker, do you know what the definition of bootlicker is? Bootlicker is when you do things to sucker things up, or you try to, play the, I'll go along just to get your name across. That's a bootlicker. That's what a bootlicker is. I'm none of that. I'm not a bootlicker. I'm not bootlicking. I'm not doing any of that. I'm fighting for the country because it's being over. by extreme maniacs.
You are far from being a bootlicker. And see, that's one of the things that did a huge off-put, because what I like about your show is that it's good to be unfiltered, because at this point we've had enough of being lied to. And you're like the adult in the room, telling your kids, okay, guys, enough is enough. Let's get a dose of reality. And that's why
the establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. That all changes starting right here and right now. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. It's going to be only America first, by American and hire American. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. We will not fail. Our country will thrive and prosper again. We will reinforce old alliances and form new ones, and unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism, which we will eradicate completely from the face of the earth. We will be protected by the great men and women of our military and law enforcement. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders. We will bring back our wealth. And we will bring back our dreams. We will face challenges. We will confront hardships. But we will get the job done. Together, we will determine the course of America and the world for many, many years to come. This moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
People are not going to try to undermine and discredit your show, but that means it's good, because you're telling the truth, and that you are attracting people that are just sick and tired of lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to add, though, for the right price, I'd be happy to throw Michael under the bus, though. That's a joke, people. It's a joke.
Oh,
I was going to say, whoa, Joseph, getting a little extreme. Well, I get it, man. But guys, I want to quote something here by the former father of the Constitution here, and he wrote, James Madison. With all this division we're seeing, he said that political division is not unusual or new. Now, he wrote this, basically in 1787, wrote this in Federalist number 10 in 1787. A number of citizens who are united and actuated by some common impulse of passion or of interest, adverse to the rights of other citizens or to the permanent and irregulate interest of the community. Now, the father of the Constitution, for having drafted much of it and went on to serve as Secretary of State before becoming the fourth president of the United States, he's seen that this type of rhetoric that we're seeing in the country was dangerous. It's dangerous now than when it was dangerous in the 1700s and early 1800s. This is nothing new, folks. But this is some of the stuff that the four founding fathers, Joseph and Sas, they warned us about, that it was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I broke news the other day for anybody. I joined the Liberty Beacon team, and since you mentioned Federalists and federalism, my first piece there is titled "Today's Federalism versus Original Intent Federalists," because literally we have fascist federalists today, nowhere close to what the founding father federalist argued for. It's gone completely off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's gotten to a point where it's dangerous. It's gotten to a point where we're about to lose this country if we don't wake enough people up. And so many people are content with what's going on. And that's the problem. And that the founding fathers, they thought it was good to have division. They thought it was good to have some healthy division. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that they all got together and still were brothers and sisters, and that they were still family. But they didn't expect to have literally people split apart, families split apart, damaged relationships because of the political division going on in this day and age. And it's only getting worse. My biggest fear for this next generation and for this country is we are on the brink of a civil war. I sent Michael a quick screenshot of what just happened yesterday, where the stock market just took a huge plunge. Not only that, but we also had the oil reserves are now at dangerous low levels, just because they can get votes. And, we're going to wait until after November when they're going to go way high up. And you also have the railroad people going on strike, and you're about to get more shortages than you ever expected. It's because people can't get together, and they're too more worried about, being your stupid pronouns and giving money to countries that hate our guts.
Yes. Yeah. The pronoun thing is, they focus on deflections and distractions. And I think it was episode 313 we did just a few days ago, Michael. People should go back to listen to that about the deflections. It's all about the deflections. It's the same thing with the White House celebration they had just the other day. And idiot James Taylor, he should have been singing "Happy Days Are Here Again," because that was the bull they were trying to peddle on the day that the bad economic news was coming out. A deflection, so that CNN and MSNBC and all the alphabet networks would all cover those falsehoods rather than the bad economic news. And James Taylor did sing "Fire and Rain," which is a song about a disaster. It couldn't have been more appropriate. The entire Biden regime has been a disaster from the beginning to now, and all they've got is deflection and spin and try to get you to look the other way. And Saucelin, you were talking about the gas prices, and sadly, people don't pay attention. The stupid fake Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to do exactly the opposite, and there's all kinds of tax increases in there. And guess when they take effect? After the midterm election. Gas price,
timing.
Yeah.
20 cents a gallon tax increase on gasoline right after the election. So you don't see it coming, and people are too stupid to read the bill or to listen to me or Michael or Saucelin when we tell you what's in the damn bill you're not reading.
Well, Joseph, you mentioned the the alphabet people, right? The LGBT plus community. Well, there's a law that's trying to make its way through the headway here in the state of Florida that basically are seeking facts as laws enacted. Now, these lawyers are basically purging schools to mention of the LGBT plus people. Now, just out of this article just came out of the FloridaToday.com, which is also seen in Florida Today newspaper, coming out of Tallahassee, saying that plaintiffs challenging a Florida law restricting instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation in schools are asking a judge to reverse an order stalling their ability to gather information in the case. Now, this is also saying that they're going to be used throughout the state to censor any positive or supportive reference to LGBT people. Now, and basically, layman's term, U.S. District Judge Alan Windsor in July put a hold on this ability to seek information from the defendants. Now, there was a speech that Governor Ron DeSantis said just this past week, And I won't go into the whole lengthy speech because it was roughly about a 45-minute speech. You can check it out on Ron DeSantis. I know that speech was on Instagram and as well as Facebook. He went into a lengthy response about this bill trying to get passed through the capital of Florida, which is in Tallahassee. That Ron DeSantis says, I'm going to continue to fight and pressure schools to challenge these radicalized bills that are trying to get passed in my state. And I will press and press and press until these bills are demolished, because this is a disgusting piece of rhetoric that the far left is trying to pass in the state of Florida.
Yeah, we've got, since we're talking about extremism and the LGBTQ, it's mainly the trans. Let's be clear. I know several gay people, and I make this distinction. There are gay people who just want acceptance and tolerance, and I've got no problem with them, and they understand my position on traditional marriage and where I come from, and we respect each other, and it's between them and God. Then there are gaytivists, as the term I coined, and the trans are gaytivists. They're about not acceptance and tolerance. They're about indoctrination and trying to recruit into the lifestyle. And that's a whole other subject. So let's make a distinction of the two. And here in Michigan, the trans extremists, the pedophiles, literally have come out. We've got a ballot initiative that's called Reproductive Freedom for All. Well, of course, we all know that's a dodge for killing babies at any time, any place, up to the moment of birth. Yeah, that's one thing. But this constitutional amendment goes way beyond that. It would negate 50 Michigan laws, including the statutory rape law. They literally want to make sex with minors legal.
That's disgusting.
Boy, Leonard, you look like, I swear your lawmakers work with my lawmakers, because Wisconsin's in the same boat, and Wisconsin now proposed a bill where you can do abortion 120 days after the kid is born.
Yeah, it's sickening. It's disgusting. And this isn't a legislature problem. This is a left-wing LGBTQ plus mafia got a ballot initiative and lied to enough people to get enough signatures to get it on the ballot. And they're running ads, of course, lying to the people about what it's about so they could try to get it passed. They can never pass anything honestly. They must always lie.
Yeah. I mean, did you say, well, there was a little, it wasn't really a speech. It was more like a meet and greet type of thing. Biden was just up in Boston not too long ago. And Biden's literally saying now that the Democrats can't afford to lose the fall elections. He's like, he goes into great detail. He says, if we lose the House and we lose the Senate, it's going to be real difficult in 2 years. And then the crowd was like, well, what about the 30 donors and guests, Mr. President? And Biden looks at the people that asked that question in Boston, and he says, what in the hell are you talking about? Then he goes into some kind of crazy scenario about airports where he was like, did you get that speech the other day?
Yeah. The man can't keep it. It's like, the train of, we all lose our train of thought at times. So let's be fair. There's that, and Biden ain't that. Biden has lost his marbles. He has no coherency whatsoever.
Well, check this. Yeah, hold on, Joseph. Check this clip out. Folks, this is Joe Biden, literally in Boston, literally saying when he was questioned about the midterms and the fall elections that he can't afford to lose that, and the Democrats can't afford to lose that. He goes into some strange analysis that has nothing to do with the conversation about airports, saying what in the hell is wrong with us about airports. Check this clip out, guys.
Folks, America invented modern aviation, but we've allowed our airports to lag behind our competitors. Today, not a single solitary American airport, not one, ranks in the top 25 in the world. The United States of America, not one airport ranks in the top 25 in the world. What in the hell's the matter with us? It means commerce. It means income. It means security. And we don't even rank in the top 25, not one single airport. I remember when I was vice president, I was flying to New York on Air Force Two. We landed in LaGuardia. And as I got into the terminal, there was an escalator. This is God's truth. Going up to the gates. And it said, quote, out of order, will be fixed in 2 months. LaGuardia, out of order, will be fixed in 2 months. With all the international passengers flying through LaGuardia, taking a look. We wonder why. Folks in China and others think we're a spent economy. Will be fixed in 2 months. And I thought to myself, this is the United States of America. The good news is LaGuardia is changing with a multi-billion-dollar investment that's turning into a world-class airport again, just like you're going to do here. Just imagine walking in here when the construction is done, a bright modern terminal. You know you're in the 21st century, in the greatest country in the world, one of the finest cities in the country. And you're not only doing this here in Boston. With this new law across the country, we're investing $25 billion. $25 billion to modify our airports.
All right. As I played the clip, guys, you can clearly see the president's not there. Hasn't been there for a while. But he's talking about if you watched and paid attention to the clip about bathrooms. He was in an airport or something like back in the day or not too long ago. It was actually not too long ago where he's seen a sign that says out of order. We'll be back to regular services within 2 months. And then Biden made a little chuckle about it. He was like, in my days, the bathrooms would be fixed within a day or two. What the hell is wrong with us? Huh?
Yeah, I love this Rakuten app. Look at that. I open the app, find the store that I want to use, start buying, and gets me tons of cash back. I just got paid to shop.
My favorite thing about Rakuten is just getting money back in the mail.
I mean, who wouldn't want cash back?
Sign up today, get cash back. Tackling Kamala. The word salad she gives to answer to even the most softball of questions. Like the other day, was she on Fox News Sunday or
no? She was on Chuck Todd.
Yeah, Chuck Todd Meet the Press. Thank you, Sauce. Exactly. And she's handed a softball to hit out of the park, and she's still completely, utterly unprepared, like the idiot spokeswoman, Pierre, or whatever her idiotic name, who's only there because she's a black lesbian. She checked the identity politics box. She is horrible. She is incapable of knowing anything. Every question, she has to go to a folder and read out of a book. You could get automated responses out of Alexa. That would be better than her stupidity.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph, you mentioned Kamala Harris. Did you guys see that last event that she took place in, where Kamala Harris was labeling the 3 major dangerous events? Okay, she included. I'll give you the last 2. She included 9/11, and then fast forward 20 years later, in 2021, she mentioned right in the same pretty much paraphrase of conversations of 3 dangerous events. She included in that conversation January 6th.
Yep. And she's not the only one with that DNC talking point. It's
Yeah.
an extension of Biden's "get off my lawn" speech the other day.
Yeah. Check this clip out, guys. This is the clip of Harris basically going into that full detail. Play that clip, Mackenzie. Thank you.
Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941. September 11th, 2001. And January 6th, 2021.
Anyways, so
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. Having written the definitive book on terrorism of our time, Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, and it's not me saying it, others say it. I'm just repeating it. I'm not saying that about myself. But having written the definitive book of terrorism of our time, and of course 9/11 is the biggest chapter in the book. It's part fact, part fiction. It's a blend to make the story flow. But to utter January 6th anywhere close to 9/11, not even in the same book, let alone the same paragraph or the same sentence, is just gut-wrenchingly outrageous and infuriating.
Yeah. I personally think that they're trying to keep this January 6th narrative alive so that they can rebound.
Okay, yeah. Wow, before we were so rudely interrupted by your internet disconnect, Sas was saying that the January 6th, of course, is the left's white whale, so to speak, and they will not let it go through the midterms and hope that it'll mitigate the red wave. And then likely, even though they may likely land up in the minority, they'll still be harping about it all through to 2024 to continue to try to, get anything to stick they can to prevent Trump from running again in 2024.
Yeah, and you notice too. I want to kind of relate, towards that. And folks, I do apologize. It's kind of like segment number 2 here. Still within the same show. We're just kind of recording like a few hours later, with the crazy thunderstorms, lightning storms that are affecting Central Florida here. So I do apologize for that. It's Mother Nature. You can't do anything about it. You just gotta, kind of hope for the best, right? But
yeah, I thought it was the deep state cutting us off.
No. Anchor FM is, they're different. They're not corrupted like many other networks are. But kind of relating to what Joseph's talking about, folks, like, if you notice something, Joseph, where they're actually now fighting now, where the Democrats are pushing that fight mentality now. Like if there's a whole little scale that a couple of newspapers are covering. I noticed it was covered in New York Times and the Wall Street Journal this morning. I read that, where the Democrats are showing that fight scenario, where the Republicans are showing the hope scenario. Like, have you been noticing that like the last couple of months now?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and that's to the detriment of the Republicans to some degree. I mean, I know many in the base that want more fight out of my side. And, but yeah, they're trying to take the high ground. I mean, they really are. I was just at called the Oak Conference in Jackson, Michigan on September 10th. And the topic came up about, more once we take over investigations and potential prosecutions. And I warned, I want the swamp drained. Yeah, I want people locked up for actual crimes, not trumped up for shit or moronic minor trespassing charges, actual crimes that were committed, but there is a danger in that if we push too hard, because the District of Columbia is heavy blue. So, and we've already seen it. I forget who it was. Sussman, I think it was, right? That was put on trial. All the evidence was there. He would have clearly been convicted if the trial didn't take place in D.C., but the liberal activists on the jury refused to convict him, even with the clear evidence of him breaking the law. And that will repeat itself over and over if we try Democrats in the District of Columbia. We must push for a change of venue. It has to be in a neutral place. Otherwise, again, they will just ignore all the evidence and let the Democrats off, not guilty. And then what will the Democrats and the media say? It was Republicans on a witch hunt. They didn't have anything. They were not guilty. There was no real evidence. It was all revenge. So, you know, we've got to deal with that. We have to be careful because it will be twisted, as it always is. We know damn well they're guilty. We have the mountains of evidence. Comey literally in 2016 laid out the evidence of Hillary's guilt on several felonies and then said with a straight face, no serious prosecutor would levy the prosecution. Are you serious? Now, it is true. Had she been put on trial for those things, she'd have been let off.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing unfold too. You know, when they don't get their way, Joseph, you know, they cry and they bitch and they moan about it. We're seeing the same thing with the female basketball star, Brittany Griner, that's being prosecuted in the country of Russia, right? Everybody wants to feel sorry for Brittany Griner. I just seen a what the hell was it? A TikTok video that just got released just yesterday, late yesterday. With a countdown, from day one to I think it's up to now day 100 that just passed. And they want us to feel sympathy for Brittany Griner. Well, guess what, folks? Law, she knew what she was getting into, right? She brought drugs, Joseph, marijuana, into the country of Russia. Now, if you're going to break their laws, well, I'm sorry to say, right? You reap what you sow, and she's going to have to face the consequences now.
Yeah,
why did she get a bailout? Because she's a celebrity? Has nothing to do with it.
And you're right. She knew. Like basketball there. Is the sentence harsh? Yes, for having CBD oil. But you're right. It is their law. She broke the law, and she expected to have her black liberal privilege. And that woke crap doesn't fly there. And no, we should not be trading a convicted Russian spy for a mediocre basketball player clown who got what she deserved.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned CBD oil. I mean, yes, folks, in the United States, CBD oil is actually considered legal. You can have CBD oil, but we're talking about Russia, folks. Okay. Am I all, hits and pits and P's and Q's with Russia? No, I mean, but I'm just saying, hey, you got to respect the country's laws, whether, they're a communist country, a socialist country, whatever. The laws are the laws. And just because, like Joseph, just because she's of black descent does not necessarily mean she's going to slide off of the race card scenario for the sympathy. Just because she's a basketball star doesn't necessarily mean she's going to slide off with the celebrity status scenario. She broke the law. You reap what you sow. Just like it was just the laws here in the United States. Just because you're a celebrity, you get what you deserve, right? So.
Yeah. Well, she would have gotten a slap on the wrist here for breaking law, no doubt. And again, is the sentence pathetically over harsh for something so minor, even under Russian law? It should have been a heavy fine and probation, maybe 6 months. in jail, but that's it. But yeah, Americans are stupid. They knew eventually they would get an American who was stupid and try to pull something and evade their law that they could then take hostage to then try to get somebody, one of their spies back. And again, no. Spy for an idiot basketball player? No. Not we know that Iran does that. Iran is still holding Americans hostage to try to get concessions. People, why are you going? Iran's slightly different because we know they are out to get us, anybody they can, and will try to use them as hostage. Russia is slightly different, but there's a similarity there. People, don't be so damn dumb.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you mentioned inflation earlier in the show. I want to get into a little bit of that, if that's all right with you, Joseph. There's there's new stuff coming out here with the inflation now, where the Biden administration is trying to dodge the bullet, so to speak. And every time he goes to dodge it, it comes up on the, obviously the conservative or the Republican radar, through the media, and they want to question it. Like, why is he trying to dodge this inflation? Well, just coming out just yesterday, the stocks came out, the stats and everything. There was a daily change in the S&P 500, where it was down a little bit below 5%. It was looking at about 4.3%. Joseph, obviously
I lost you there for a second. Your mic cut out.
Yeah, it's all right. Mackenzie, stop doing that. She's trying to fluctuate the signal coming in, but it's all good now. But the U.S. oil future prices, right? $87 a freaking barrel, Joseph. $87 a barrel. But now, according to Joe Biden, he's saying that these inflation stats that the media and newspapers are putting out is absolutely inaccurate. That the economy is at an all-time high. This is some of the lies that we were talking about earlier in the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could look at it. Look at furniture, right? Just different categories, core categories. Furniture, it's up by 1%, right? New vehicles up by 0.8%. Medical care up by like 0.5%. Shelter, 0.5%. Education, 0.5%. They should be like way up there. Gasoline now, right? 25%, 40-year high. What was the big one coming up there? What the hell was it? Oh, airlines, 36%. Right underneath airlines, real estate. Real estate is really up there. It's high. That means it's affecting the inflation terribly. Real estate was showing at like, what the hell was it? Oh, here it is right here. Real estate, almost 43%. That's terrible.
Yep, it's absurd. Yeah, we were talking in the first half before we got cut off about the moronic celebration with James Taylor for the Inflation Reduction Act being passed, which is going to accelerate inflation, not reduce it. And we talked about the taxes that will hit everyone across the board. Whether you make 1 penny or 1 billion pennies, you're going to pay more in taxes, including a 20-cent extra a gallon gas tax following the midterms. And they always do that. They front load certain spending and then backload other things they want to hide and or other things they'll never get to, like the fake deficit reduction. They claimed there would be a $500 billion deficit reduction 10 years from now. Well, we all know that isn't going to happen. And then one day later, what's he do? He announces a $500 billion student loan payoff boondoggle, which immediately didn't even wait a year to erase his pretend deficit reduction. He 2 days later wiped out his pretend deficit reduction. And the media just covers for these lies and spin and, people failing to learn from history.
Oh, sure, sure. Before I welcome Soslin into the panel, just bear with me, Soslin.
No, you're good.
Did you see the new CPI report that just came out from the federal chief, Jerome Powell? And he said,
it's time.
We've got a global fan event to launch. Drum roll, please.
Are you ready for Tudum?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Today I get to share a special gift.
It's happening.
Coming at you right now.
Tudum is back.
Let's reveal some steamy secrets, shall we?
Sabemos lo que dice.
I'm very excited for you guys to see it.
I'll meet you there. Check out the news you've been waiting for.
Get ready for some action.
Bonjour, Tudum.
It's time.
Chegou a hora.
Let me tell you what you're about to witness.
I'm so excited to introduce my new movie.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into making this.
Here's a sneak peek behind the scenes.
It's very exciting, Yes.
Hola, hola.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's get down to business. It's happening.
It's magical.
Se viene, gente. Se viene.
I'm into it, babe. I'm into it.
Go time.
Take it away.
Get ready to have your world turned upside down.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Because we're sounding the alarm. In 5,
4, 3,
2, 1. Positions, everyone.
We got this. Right?
No matter how much they try to redefine it and lie about it, we are in a recession. But yes, the Bidenflation, which led to a Biden recession, is going to turn into a Biden depression.
Yeah, you're telling me. Welcome back to the panel, Sas. Sorry about before. Obviously, Joseph is aware we've had some really, really major strong cells of thunderstorms and lightning pass through Central Florida here. So everything seems to be in order. Let's just pray and hope that it, this brand new box they installed handles it correctly. So,
I just want to tell you, it was interesting, Joseph and Michael. I did a survey on the investment. I put money in the investment and the stock market. So I said, are we already in a recession after yesterday's reports came out? And you know how many out of almost 6,000 people, how many people I put down, how many said, yes, we are. It was overwhelmingly 89% of the 5,000 people that voted on my poll that's still a week long. Over 89% said, yes, we are in a recession. I don't know what more do they need, because after yesterday's markets and, I tell Michael about the stock market and I send him screenshots. And it was ironic because while he was talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, Fox News they had to cut his programming short because the Dow Jones plunged over 2,400 points. You want to talk about irony? That is ironic.
Yeah.
Savaged Unfiltered.
Dow, or the NASDAQ, has dropped 4 times this year already, more than 1,000 points.
Yes.
4 times. What are the 11% who think we're not in a recession thinking? They are clearly just liberal, idiot trolls towing the Biden regime's lie line.
Yeah, I just seen an article come out the other day where they're, speaking of liberals and extremists that, we're labeling the show extremism in America. I just seen an article come out where they're more worried, Sas and Joseph, about Biden signing student loan forgiveness, right? They're more worried about other things besides fixing what we need to fix. That's all they care about. Student loan. Got to fix this. Is he going to sign it? Is he going to sign it? Is he going to, I mean,
Yeah. This is how, it's really depressing. This is how we have bigger problems to worry about. And all you're worried about is, student loans. You want to forgive student loans for individual that got a doctorate in transgender non-binary studies or basket weaving. I mean, or the alphabet people's history to become an alphabet teacher at a university at Harvard. Why don't you give me a break? And it's interesting because AOC, AOC is now saying, well, you know what? I still can't pay off my student loans and I owe $17,000 of student loan. Well, you dumb broad. You wonder why you can't like forgive those? It's because you're poor money management. It's because you can't handle your own finances properly. No wonder why you're in fucking debt. Pardon my language, Michael.
Well, she can afford a Tesla. She can afford $100,000 Tesla, but she can't afford her student loans. And that sums it up right there. And you're right, Sus. It's plumbers and waiters and waitresses and busboys. I went to a trade college. All of us who didn't go to the pathetic universities that are giving you nothing but a useless degree for your money, and especially, you're right, Sauce, these moron kids that get these completely worthless gender studies or all this garbage degrees. We gotta pay for them.
Yeah,
more money than us, but we have to bail them out.
Well, Joseph, did you see the speaking of cars and being hypocrites, because that's what they are? They're becoming hypocrites. Did you see the video that just surfaced out on Breitbart? Thank you, hat tip to Breitbart Media. That just surfaced out on Instagram just earlier today, this morning, where Biden is literally blabbing. When he was blabbing, I mentioned that earlier in the show at the airport about, we need to cut costs and we need to go to electric cars and this and that. And he wants to end fossil fuels and all this other crap and shit. But then again, you see Biden shortly in a video, and Biden is in a Corvette and he's smiling and he's getting questioned and interviewed by all the, media groups, and they're kissing his ass and everything. Oh, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. Oh, yeah, you were blabbing about, we need to get more electric cars on the road and we can't have gas fuel cars because it's ruining our climate and all this. But then you pretty much, selling his pitch, guys, right in a gas powered vehicle.
Not just a gas powered vehicle, one of the biggest gas guzzler vehicles American made that you could buy.
Yeah, and it's all, and the sad part is that you have all these elitists like Leonardo DiCaprio, all these like so-called leftists that are like all environmental friendly. They're telling us to give up on our gas. They're telling do this for the environment, while they do the opposite. Leonardo DiCaprio has like a Jeep that's got like 12 miles to a gallon, and he like is a gas guzzling Jeep. And so here's what I think. I think what's going on is that they're trying to think, okay, as long as we can push everyone to electric vehicles, that means it's going to be beneficial for us because we can shut their power down. And if they say something different, we can shut them down so they can't go anywhere. Unlike a gas-powered vehicle where they can go for freelance and all they want. I think it's more of a power control grab. That's what I think. And we are dumb enough a nation where we just fall some of us are dumb where we just line up like to the slaughterhouse and we're like, oh, okay, you want me to go to electric? Oh, I'll go to electric. But then I don't know the consequences because people pull out the loans that they don't have and they become indebted to the government.
And we have to, of course, mention California.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom just signed a decree that no gas-powered cars will be allowed to be sold anywhere in the state of California after the year 2030 or 2035. The exact year is irrelevant. What's relevant here is then he wants you to buy electric vehicles. And then, like I said, before, with Biden and the hypocrites, 2 days later, the deficit reduction that they pretended was there went away with the student loan promise. Gavin Newsom, the very next day, is saying there will be brownouts and you won't be able to run your air conditioning, and please don't charge your electric vehicle. What good is your $100,000 electric vehicle going to do you if you can't charge it because the morons are shutting down all the power plants?
Yeah, and get this, and don't set your thermostat. Don't drop your thermostat. Leave it at 78 degrees. Don't drop it any lower, or you're gonna get you can't go any lower. So he's like, raise up your thermostat if you have yours at 60 degrees in California. Raise it up to 78. Well, dumb. I mean, who the hell what kind of leaders are we having this country run? And of course, California is going to vote Gavin Newsom all over again. And it's just, it's the hypocrisy of this nation. And we see it in Wisconsin, we see it in Michigan. It's just, I don't know what has to happen where the people are finally fed up and are going to do something about it.
Yeah, Sauce, that's the big thing. It's not the leaders. It is how is there so many stupid voters,
uneducated,
just completely clueless. They can see this stuff with their own eyes and own ears. They know it's not possible for them to at least have a clue what's going on anymore. They choose to remain delusional and vote for these morons that impose.
It was, Joseph. It was quite interesting, Joseph. We're on the whole California thing. I put a posting on my Instagram and Facebook page just yesterday.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yes, I've seen that. With Sas and I had a special on his show just yesterday covering sports, and we happened to discuss about Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is literally saying that California, and he said this he made this public on his Instagram, saying that California, Joseph, is going to shit.
You can't make that up.
And there are several states, there's like 10 states, who signed a compact with California that whatever stupid they do, they will follow. How dumb is that when you see how bad California is run and going downhill even faster to hell in a handbasket than normal, that you would agree to match their stupid?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. You nailed it right on the spot. Guys, hold that thought here. I got to get into a quick sponsor. Just picked up a brand new sponsor here on the show. I got to plug them in. Guys, for those who live in the Brevard County section of Florida, just not too far from me, it's the next county over. There's a very, very small little cafe. Everybody remember the cafes out there? They were great. Head over, guys, to Southern Sisters Cafe. They're located at 2242 Sarno Road in Melbourne, Florida. Okay. They have a discount right now. You can get 20% discount every day to their to military, right? If you're a spouse, if you're in the military, or if you have friends that are in the military, you can get that 20% discount every single day. It's your all-time hometown favorite for breakfast and lunch. Head over there, guys. They have gift certificates available through the local newspapers of Hometown News. Head over to Southern Sisters Cafe. Check them out today. Back here on the show.
Yeah.
So
you're starting to sound like Mike Lindell. Are you going to sell coffee too?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Hey,
guys,
did anyone hear about that?
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Listen, Joseph. If they're going to want to sponsor the show, hey, I'm going to take it. You know what I mean?
I'm just kidding. Absolutely. I absolutely love small business owners. Absolutely support them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shop local. That's my thing.
Yep.
Did anyone hear what happened to Michael Lindell last night? And I sent this. Yeah, that is absolutely awful. And I also sent this to where Steve Bannon is like now he's actually arrested. And I sent that to Michael. And what are your thoughts on that? Like with what happened to Mike Lindell last night, where his phone was taken away and he was raided last night.
Are you shocked? I mean, they're going after everybody that's in the freaking, Trump circle. Of course, they're going to go after Mike Lindell because, we got to raid the Mr. Pello guy. Like, what the hell are you going to raid for him? What are you going to find in his freaking house besides
memory
pillows?
foam?
Yeah, he already released his videos on the election. What are you expecting to find? Now, this is funny because I got a call from some liberal troll earlier today because I'm the webmaster for the Michigan 12th Congressional District Republicans. So my phone number's out there on that site. And he calls up and starts on, are you aware that Tudor Dixon is an election denier? And I said, are you aware that Hillary Clinton still denies she lost the 2016 election, and Al Gore still denies he lost?
Stacey Abrams
still denies she lost, and of course he's got no response to that.
Of course not. But back to My Pillow. What are they going to find, guys, in his house when they raid it? Nothing but My Pillow.
Yeah,
exactly, boss.
Yeah, what are they going to find on his phone? I mean, are they looking for? They'll probably manufacture some fake January 6th text. That's what they're looking for. Another way, like Sauce, before we lost power, and you were saying you do anything to continue the January 6th hysteria. And this is part of that. Watch.
Yep. And also, like, and for instance, this morning, I also sent a video to where Steve Bannon actually is in handcuffs and that he's being escorted out and he's being like arrested. And I sent that on Mike. I said, Michael, you can't make this stuff up. I'm like, I'm doing my research.
Yeah, I've seen that stuff.
Oh, isn't that sad? I mean, he's a true fighter.
It's terrible. Speaking of, Mar-a-Lago and everything else, did you guys happen to see, this just came out. Actually, I seen it this morning come out, where there was FBI that was literally caught red-handed trying to manufacture or fabricate imagery. Did you guys see that story?
Yes.
That just came out.
Yes, that is sickening and absolutely atrocious what they're doing. And that they're also manufactured the Russian hoax and that they paid actors and like paid Russians to manufacture the Russian call and stuff. And that they staged the photo op and stuff and to make sure that they pigeonhole President Trump. And that's what the whole call was last night. That's why he landed in D.C. Did an emergency visit yesterday. And when President Trump did that, that is just absolutely sick. That's a Russian style government. That's a Soviet style. So does that mean we're going to stop funding Ukraine?
Yeah, and yet they are in possession of Hunter Biden's laptop with evidence of criminal activity of him and his father, the sitting president, and they don't give a damn. They are hiding actual evidence while, like you say, Sas, manufacturing false evidence against others.
Yep. This is a Russian-style government, and there's no accountability whatsoever. I mean, I'm fed up with it. I'm like, I don't know what more we need to do to hold, especially the FBI accountable, because I thought the FBI used to be good. Now, I'm not saying all FBI is bad. It's your leadership that's absolutely corrupted, like your TSA. Not all your Homeland Security people are bad, but it's your leadership that's
Savaged
Unfiltered all terrorists now.
Sas, if I may cut in here, there was a thing here because we're going to depart here very, very soon, guys. I'd like to take this another hour, but it's you add this segment plus the rest of the segment we did in the first half, it's over an hour already. But did you see there was something that Marjorie Taylor Greene just released a video on her social media, which they're attacking, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I really feel bad for George's Marjorie Taylor Greene. But Marjorie Taylor Greene just did a video last night saying that now the Democrats are trying to keep these corrupted type of FBI officials into position. I spoke to this with Joseph off the air. And this law, if they pass it, it basically gets a slap on the wrist. This is something that the Biden administration and the Democrats want to pass.
Out of positions controlling the government. It's so important for any president to be able to do that. Well, the Biden administration, the Democrats, are going to change it. And they're going to pass a bill tomorrow to take away the ability to fire the Schedule F employees. These are the people that never leave. As a business owner, it's so important to be able to fire people in your business when they aren't doing a good job. Well, this is a Democrat effort so that when President Trump comes back into office in 2024, he won't be able to fire the people that the Biden administration has put in place in the executive branch. I'll be voting no tomorrow, and I'll keep you all updated on this bill.
Savaged Unfiltered.
Sounds like you're a busy man there, Joseph.
Yeah, I forgot to cover up the phone when we resumed.
It's all right. It's all right. But we're gonna depart here in about another minute or two. You guys want to add anything before we depart?
Absolutely. So I'll go because I have to continue on my way. So if anyone wants to listen to a wonderful interview, we had an interview done with Amy Sinha out of Wales. That podcast just dropped, and we're going to do a couple of other interviews going on in the next coming days. So stay tuned, and you're welcome to follow me on my Facebooks, Soslin Timonson, as well as I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast service. I'm on there. All you have to do is just put "Remember God Loves You," and I'll meet at the finish line on your Google search engine, and I pop up. You can't miss me. And hope fantastic day, and thank you so much for allowing me to be on the panel, Michael, and keep up the fight.
All right, take it easy, Sauce. I'll talk with you later, buddy.
All right.
But Joseph here, if you want to add anything, before we depart, buddy, the floor is yours.
Well, I did want to talk, although extremism isn't the right word here. The right words are probably idiotic strategy. Because I see it coming from my side too often. Like, I have a friend, Diane, love her to death. She is one of the sweetest people on the planet you would ever meet, but she just doesn't get strategy. She wants to volunteer when we have booths at like a street fair or whatever. But then if anybody comes up to inquire about the Republican Party, and what is conservatism or about the Constitution, she immediately wants to drone on about 5G, smart meters, and chemtrails. Now, I'm not talking about the merit of any of that. I'm not going to even discuss, the pros and cons. I'm a former IT guy. Yes, I know harmful aspects of 5G. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want people to walk up to you and then just roll their eyes and walk away, do that. That's what you're going to get. You're not going to get anywhere. What we need to talk about are the things like the Biden laptop and inflation and all those other things. Like they still try to label the Hunter Biden laptop as conspiracy theory. And it's so easily evidenced and out there. And Bobulinski confirmed it. There's a guy currently sitting in prison who was Hunter Biden, one of Hunter Biden's partners. And he's crying because, of course, he's in jail, but nothing's happened to Hunter, and certainly nothing's happening to Joe Biden, the big guy who's, still the ringleader of it all. So my point here being, again, it's not extremism. It's just
well, Joseph,
of strategy.
Well, Joseph, you understand what I mean by the term extremism. They're using extreme tactics against the people of this country. They're slamming panelists. They're calling people out on extreme demeanors of wording. Listen, arguing with somebody is one thing, but when you take it to the next level, that's going way too far. These people are literally called. You hear your president of the United States, Joseph, labeling this MAGA Republican. He just said this the other day. Soslin just, before he departed, just yesterday, sent me a screenshot and an actual video, and I checked it out, where you have your president literally labeling a MAGA Republican group, whatever, a terrorist. This is your president labeling this. This is our nation. That's the extremism I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the wording is.
Your show, this episode makes my point. This is something to be talking about. Like we talked about in the first half before the internet interruption. Kamala Harris literally talking about Republicans being as bad as the Geisha that slaughtered 3,000 people on 9/11, comparing January 6th, where only one person died, and it was Ashley Babbitt assassinated by a Capitol Hill cop. The other 8 deaths that they pretend happened were gang-related violence in the area they are trying to pretend is January 6th related. So to compare the two is beyond extreme. And my point, these are things we need to discuss, not 5G, smart meters, and chemtrails.
No, that's on another topic. That really doesn't have a really an important narrative behind it. You need to be talking about what's going on in the country today. You need to be addressing the extremism, the literally of what's going on. Like I've mentioned many times, this country is in a political warfare within its own nation. You have politicians fighting politicians. You have citizens fighting citizens. You have brothers and sisters fighting one another, parents fighting one another, grandparents fighting one another. Your media groups, your podcasters. I'm getting attacked on every single fucking level on the damn network from different extremists of podcasts. Literally calling me out, you're uneducated and you're this and that, and you're a bootlicker, and whoa, going into extremism on that shit. Let it go. Stop it.
That goes back to episode 313, like we talked about, the deflection.
Deflection, yes.
They have to have distractions and deflection, and the same thing again with the idiot James Taylor, who I used to be a fan of. I feel like now taking out my James Taylor records and, burning them or running them over with a steamroller. Remember, like the disco suck days? People would buy disco records, which, hey, idiots, you were actually helping the disco artists because you were buying their records to burn them. How stupid is that? But I used to be a fan of James Taylor. God is albums, I feel like burning them now. I really do.
Yeah, I tell you what, Joseph. Before I gotta depart soon because we gotta put the editing and all that together. But it's getting it's getting so bad. It's you have where you have certain networks or certain software companies, social media networks. For example, I'm gonna use this for example. Just earlier today, I got a notification from TikTok. Now, folks, I'm doing phenomenal on TikTok. I'm getting a lot of fan base. I appreciate it. Thank you very much to the people over at TikTok. I never thought it would go that way because I never thought my content or material would reach people like that. But thank you. I take credit to where I see it. But and I applaud the people for following me. So thank you. But I'm now getting restriction notifications from TikTok right? Like I got restrictions from YouTube. I'm completely banned from YouTube. Now they're ready to pull the freaking plug on TikTok. Like I'm not like, what the hell? I'm not like labeling anything like extreme. Are these people that upset? This is the patheticness coming out of this, Joseph, where you actually have big tech companies scared to death of the little man like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they can't deal in the facts that we deal in, so they must silence us. And yeah, TikTok's one of the few platforms I'm not on, but a couple weeks ago, Twitter finally permanently suspended my personal account. I still have my book account, but yeah, so I've been perma-banned by Fascist Book and now perma-banned by Twitter. So, you know, it's not surprising, and it's all to deal with they can't handle facts. And when they cannot refute your facts, they engage in ad hominem attacks or anything to silence you, which is what they're trying to do to you.
Well, thank God we have two platforms out there to rely on, True Social and Rumble. I mean, and Locals, right? Locals is a good one. So,
yeah,
but I mean,
yeah, I like Locals. I'm on Gab. I'm on Truth. I'm on the Liberty Beacon Talk. I'm on MeWe. I'm on Nextdoor, which is mainly just local, neighborhood watch stuff. Locals, Getter, Parlor, Freely, Free Talk, Clout Hub, Minds.
Yeah,
and that ain't even all of them.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Joseph. I'm getting a head turn by Mackenzie. It's she's telling us so we gotta depart here soon.
Yeah, we're way over now that we're way over.
Yeah, Mackenzie's giving me like the fingers and everything. I see you. Okay. But Joseph, it's been a great show, a great episode today, a good hour and probably 30-minute show after the editing and all that. But Joseph, like I tell everybody, don't bend the knee. Continue fighting.
Oh, it's hilarious. I got the TV on in the background. Newsmax is on. And guess what? They just showed Biden at the Detroit Auto Show sitting in the Corvette like you were talking about.
Was I lying or what? I told you, yeah. I told you. I don't think
he's in Detroit today because we got the auto show going on. But yeah, with a bunch of gas cars. Yeah, he's not promoting an electric vehicle. He's in a gas car, and not just any gas car, a gas truck.
Yeah, he's promoting bullshit. Anyway, Joseph, nice talking to you, buddy, and keep in touch, man.
All right, love it, brother. Take care. God bless.
All righty.